Hi, my name is Ivan Orkin. We're at my restaurant, Tsukemen Ramen, on the Lower East Side, and we're going to talk about Tsukemen today. Tsukemen, in its simplest description, is cold noodles dipped into hot soup. Ramen was never served that way until about 30 years ago. It became famous from the owner of a restaurant called Tsukemen in Tokyo. Well, Tsukemen, in a way, is sort of deconstructed ramen. Instead of having, a big bowl of steaming broth and noodles and then a piece of meat laid on top, it's all broken out. So you keep the texture of the noodle, and I like that style a lot because of that. I think it's a really cool noodle-centric experience. So we serve two kinds of noodles at Tsukemen Ramen. We serve a rye noodle that's thin, and we serve a whole wheat noodle that's thick. I use my whole wheat noodles in the application of Tsukemen because you want to be chewing and have that whole experience of chewing, whereas when you're eating a bowl of hot soup, it's a different eating experience. Tsukemen soup is supposed to be sort of stronger and saltier and richer than regular ramen soup because it needs to stick to the noodles and it needs to stand up to the noodles that aren't sitting in the broth. Tsukemen broths, generally speaking, have a lot of oomph. In Japanese, they like to say it has punch. Our pork broth is probably about a 12 to 14 hour broth. The classic sort of Hakata style uses heads and femurs, and it's cooked for 40 hours and the bones melt. We don't go quite that far. We use pork backs, we use chicken feet, we use caramelized vegetables and cook that down to a pretty rich consistency. The egg has always been my favorite part of the ramen. It's runny in the center and firm on the outside. And here we do spicy collards, which we really love, and they're really delicious, and a big round of pork chashu. It's bites of things. You pick up some noodles, you dip them in the broth, you slurp them up, take a piece of the pork and maybe dip it in the soup if you want, and eat that and eat some collards. And no matter how much I warn a guest or advise a guest, a lot of people end up taking the broth and dumping it on top of their cold noodles, which is just sort of like, it's like eating pizza with a fork and a knife. So it's a very exciting time to be in New York and in America for ramen because it's sort of like Japan 15, 20 years ago. Tsukemen is something that people weren't really comfortable with in Japan initially. And now there's shops all over Japan that only serve Tsukemen. So I'm not surprised that it's a new thing for Americans. But it's really fun way to eat. It's a fun way to dip and slurp. For me, personally, I've eaten tens of thousands of bowls of ramen. When I eat a bowl of ramen, I think of nothing else but the bowl of ramen. I don't talk to anybody. I don't eat my salad. I get into the bowl and I usually slurp and chew and suck or whatever until the bowl is empty.